Alright, so this is the cat bone. So on the cat bone, we're going to start with the head. And we have the premaxilla, which it's hard to see here on this cat, but if you look at on this guy, this would be the premaxilla. So it's just right on top of the incisors. So you can't really see it that well in here. But I think if he was going to point to the premaxilla, he would use this one. And then after that, we have the maxilla bone, which is all this stuff. And would be all that would be maxilla bone. We have the nasal bone, which is this guy right here. Or you can see it on that one right there, that little triangle. We also have frontal and parietal. So this would be frontal and that would be parietal. We have temporal bone, and temporal bone would be right here on the cat. And then we also have the jugal bone. So here's the jugal bone on this cat. But on this guy, it is going to be right here. That's jugal. And what connects to the jugal is going to be the zygomatic arch. So you can kind of see like this nice line. So this is going to be zygomatic arch, and that's going to be the jugal bone. And that's going to be the zygomatic arch right here. Jugal, zygomatic arch. Alright. We have the external auditory meatus, and we also have the mastoid process. So that is the external auditory meatus right there, and then the mastoid process would be that kind of bulb looking thing. Alright, and then right here we also see that we have some occipital condyles, which also looks like a bulb-like structure. And you can't really see it on that cat, but on this one you can. Right? So what's the length of the root? Here are like the two bulb-like structures, right? So you don't want to get them confused. This was the mastoid process. And then right here would be the occipital condyles right here, those two guys. And they attach right next to the foramen magnum. So this guy would be the foramen magnum, that big hole. And I think that's what the word foramen means, just hole. And magnum means big, so big hole. Then we also have the occipital bone, which would be all of this would be occipital bone. We also have the sphenoid bone, which is right here, sphenoid. So I'd say this is all this is sphenoid bone. Let's see. We have internal nares, which is right here. These would be the internal nares. And let's see. Tympanic bulbia. I guess that would be this right here, tympanic bulbia, which is kind of next to the mastoid process. Actually, I'm thinking the mastoid process is this bone right here. That's the mastoid process, and then this would be the tympanic bulbia. Tympanic bulbia, mastoid process. Petrigoid process would be these guys right here. These are the petrigoid processes. You can also see it on this cat too. kind of, I think. Let's see. Maybe not. Oh, right there, yeah. Right here would be the petrigoid process. Okay, and then we also have the palatine bone, and we also have the pre-maxilla bone and the maxilla bone. So, right here is the palatine bone, let's say that, and then up here we would have the maxilla, and then up here we would have the pre-maxilla. So you can kind of see it, how it ends right here, and then this one would end up kind of right here. This would be the ending, and then this would be the last one. So we also have to finish up on some of these guys right here. The nuchal crest. You can see it well in this cat. It's kind of like that little sharp cap right there. That'd be the nuchal crest. And we have the so we did the occipital bone. We'd have to flip over that. We did that. Okay, so we have molars. We have premolars right here, and then this would be your canine, and then you'd have incisors. We went through those, and that's it for cat school. So now that we did the cat school, let's move on to parts of the cat body. So the hole on the cat eye, first of all, is the orbit. I forgot to mention that. And the first bone that holds up the head is called the atlas. The second one on the cat is called the axis. All right, and then we have all of this is cervical vertebra. And then this part that really sticks up is called the transverse vertebra. Right here we have lumbar vertebra. And then after lumbar vertebra, we have caudal vertebra, which caudal means tail. And let's see. Another thing to note is that all the spines that stick out are called the spinous process. Let's see. The scapula, that would be the scapula. And then right here is the scapular spine. The coracoid and the acromion. So the acromion is that little tip right here. That would be the acromion. And then the coracoid is that guy right there. So acromion and coracoid. We also then have like our basic bones, which is like humerus, radius, and ulna. So the thing about the radius is that it's tricky. It's actually, the radius goes like way back. So it like pops out right here. So that's one way to tell what the radius is. And then the ulna is kind of just like a normal bone. That would be the humerus. And then here we have the, let's see, they're not called metacarpals, not metatarsals. Metacarpals, and then we have phalanges. Right? Do cats even have phalanges? Let's see. Tarsals, we don't even have phalanges for cats. So just metatarsals, wherever I saw that last. we have that on the cat. Metatarsals, and then back here we're gonna have metacarpals. Metatarsals are right here. Metacarpals are right here. Let's see. And then finding the tibia from the fibula is pretty easy on the cat. So fibula is always the thick bone, and it's usually pointed inward on the animal, so thick inner bone, and then our fibulas are a smaller one. And then that would be our femur right here. Let's see. Then we also have the tarsus and the calcaneus. So the tarsus runs along here, but then the calcaneus is the really big one that pops out. Patella is easy. That's just that little bone right here. That's the patella. Right. Arbiter foramen is that hole that that the femur can attach to. And then pubic symphysis is going to be like at that tip right here. It's where the two kind of connect, and usually you can see a line. I think you can see it on the human one.
You said you were gonna come to
So like right here, like that shows like the pubic symphysis, like it's like right in the middle. Then we also have the lesser trochanter, and then we also have the greater trochanter. So that was on this bone right here. So you can see it really well. Right, so we have the greater trochanter and then the lesser trochanter, and then right here would be the head of the femur. This would be the head of the femur. Right. Then let's do this part. So the iliac crest is at the very top, and then kind of like that smooth area is called the ilium. So right here we have the iliac crest, and then the ilium. We also have the sacrum. You can see the sacrum on the cat right here. Right here would be the sacrum where it like kind of comes out, and all that right here. And this would be like where the caudal is. I think so. I'm not too sure actually on the sacrum. It shows on the book like this right here. It's kind of like before the caudal bone, so I think that's about right. Let's see. The pubis. Honestly, the pubis is right next to the pubic symphysis. So I would say like right here would be the pubis. So right here we have the sternum, but then it kind of turns into the xiphisternum, which is right here. Xiphisternum. Sternum to the xiphisternum. So sternum and then xiphisternum is at the end. Right here is costal cartilage, and then right here is rib. Oh, and then the olecranon is like right here. That pops out on the radius. Sternum, here's. I think I finished it all. Yep, and that's the cat.